So who's the person that told us? Yeah. A couple? Really?
Well, the same guy.
What did he say? What was the other one?
Very first one I was oh my job!
Put down the coffee. Streaming. I like your team. Anything you want to talk about? What's your team? The aspects of there's nothing particularly like I'm freaking out proud of or
Proud of the kids already. Doing great.
Any surprises? When I say things like any surprises, obviously I'm talking about kids.
Yeah.
We're live. Okay, we're live. We're live stream. Jillian going to stream, so Wayne can walk in and ruin the shot again. Like he does every single time we stream. Uh, I want to talk about, without actually mentioning his name, Blitz. He's got a lot of talent, but he's way too long, right? Really strong kid. Well, I mean, if it's somebody like Josh Caverly, it's not a huge deal because he, of course, knows the game so well, right? But where's he these days? Oh. You got a drizzle or something? Betting in T-ball or whatever, 6 or 7, I was just and he just doesn't focus as he, chasing butterflies. It's always like that.
Honestly, he might find a way back to baseball at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good sport. Once it's sort of hanging out, it's so dangerous. Oh, we're gonna go. We're gonna be going live pretty soon. Just us. Wayne likes to walk around and trip over stuff, but you're trying to concentrate and talk. It's really fun. Crinkle's a little rap person.
No, it's too late because I have to go.
Take off nasty comments. And here we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be on the World Wide Web. Welcome to Giants Blitz, our show about everything football. I'm your host, Tim Amy. Thank you for coming out and getting Blitz this Friday afternoon. And preseason is well underway. All the teams have their equipment. Practices have started. Things are starting to shape up. And here to talk about his team is a Chilliwack Giant veteran coach, extraordinary man in his own right, Mr. Greg Fawcett.
Thanks, Tim.
Greg is enjoying his 7th season as a coach and head coach here with Chilliwack Minor Football. 2 as a head coach, otherwise an offensive coordinator, supporting role. And you're head coach of both Junior Bantam Blue and offensive coordinator of Adam Blue. So let's get things rolling here. Let's talk about Junior Bantam because that's your head coach. How are things shaping up so far? How do you like your team?
Oh, it's going great. Love the team. Great group of kids. Big group of kids, 35 kids. But coached a lot of them before. Really, really good group. Really strong. Commitment to each other already, which is good. And just an amazing group of kids, amazing group of parents. It's going to be an awesome season.
Now, it's yourself at JB Blue and, of course, Derek Wagner, great coach, who we will have on the show at one point. He has work issues with the time frame. is JB Red.
Yep.
And you guys, did the draft between the two of you. Are you confident the two of you got the teams you wanted?
Well, I think the sign of a good draft is actually that neither of us got the team that we wanted specifically.
Okay.
There's lots of players on both teams. I would love to have a lot of the kids that he has. He would love to have a lot of kids that I have. And,
right.
You walk out of a draft and, you're very, very happy. But at the same time, you're like, if only. And it's, no, we have two amazing teams. I think JB is going to do very, very well this year. Both his team is very, very strong. And Derek's a great coach.
Yeah.
And our team is looking really, really strong already as well. So I think the Giants are gonna do very well at junior bantam this year.
He got a bit of a bigger team. Would you say you got a bit of a quicker team?
No, both teams have lots of speed, lots of size. It's fairly even. He's got definitely a little bit bigger than us, but not big enough that we can't overcome it for sure. It's you coach to the team that you have, and just the way it worked out is a couple of Derek's guys ended up being bigger than ours. But all in all, when we actually did the numbers at the end, and it was actually kind of cool this year during the combine, we did weight and height and stuff, and we did total weight of each team when Derek and I were doing the draft. Kind of as a curiosity thing at the end.
Oh, okay.
And we were actually within 100 pounds of total weight. Between
wow.
the 35 kids on each team, so I can't say that he's bigger than me at all. He's 100 pounds bigger than me, which is
100 pounds.
Not that big.
Peanuts.
So, peanuts. But no, two very, very good and balanced teams.
Now, the last time I was on your team was 2 years ago, and it was Adam Blue. No, Pee Wee Blue. What am I saying?
Blue, yeah.
Pee Wee Blue. And Brooklyn Bingo Salas was the surprise pick for you, at least. I never got a chance to talk to Derek. Great kid. I think you picked him last. You didn't even know who he was.
There was two Salas brothers. It was
Brooklyn and
no, it wasn't Brooklyn. It was the Salas brothers were Antonio and
sure it wasn't Brooklyn.
100%.
Positive Brooklyn Bingo Salas. I gave him the nickname.
There was actually three Salas brothers. There was twin brothers that were second year age, and then a first year age.
Okay.
Sorry, Antonio is the only one that's coming to mind for me right now.
Okay. Anyway, whatever. Point is, what I'm trying to talk about are surprises. That one kid you picked, they're like, okay, I'll grab him. I don't know much about him. And all of a sudden, whoa! So who's your big surprise player this year that's so far early in practice?
Surprise players? I don't really have any surprise players yet.
Yeah.
We're still figuring out where kids are going to be, seeing where they're the best skilled for. We have a nice player new to football this year, Davies Lapierre, who's showing very, very well.
Right.
She's doing very well, and our veterans are showing well. We have some brand new kids to football, but they aren't surprising anybody. They're just great athletes, and they're going to do very well at football.
Okay.
So no one's surprising yet. Surprising doesn't usually happen until actually we start putting them in pads and really kind of going at it, and all of a sudden you're going to see a kid from out of nowhere either can hit like a hammer or catch or run.
Right.
So we know the bulk of who we have right now. I've coached probably 25 kids of my 35 kids before,
right.
So not a lot of surprises.
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
But that said, every offseason kids change, they grow. A kid that will be very, very offensive, like one of our running backs or slot backs, 2 years ago was a left guard for me. So his body has changed. And he is incredibly fast now and incredibly skilled, where before he was quite a bit bigger.
Oh, okay.
And now the bigger kids have surpassed him in size, and he's been working really hard at getting fast and quick, and he's going to have a great year this year too.
The crazy thing is with junior bantam, and it never fails to surprise me, is the difference between the second years turning 13 and the first years turning 12.
Yeah.
Like it's night and day sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's just night and day.
Yeah, even just the size of these kids. I did not think at junior bantam I would have a significant number of kids that I would be actually looking slightly up to. And I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but I would like to think I'm taller than most 13-year-olds. But unfortunately, I actually have to look up to a couple of kids this year. I thought I would have a little bit more time.
Now it's summer, and that of course is wonderful because it's nice and hot and nice long sunny days. Go to the beach, that's great. But in football practice terms, that's a bit of a challenge because there's other sports going on like baseball, and also people going on holidays.
Yep.
So how are you working around that? If you got a strong player that you really want to shape, or a new kid that you really want to shape, but they simply just aren't here for a month because they got to go off.
Well, I mean, obviously, that's kind of two different things: vacation and secondary sports. But when kids aren't available, I mean, they're not available. It's that's just life. That's the way life works. We have to work with what we have. What I sort of do is I lay out the expectations very early for them, and I let them know that, do realize that not being practice time will equate to game time. So it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you're not going to be there, there's going to be issues come game day. So, but please play more sports, because more sports make you a better athlete. And I'm a firm believer in getting good athletes, not just necessarily good football players. So, but if kids are going away, basically what happens for those ones, especially the ones that are new to football, it's kind of two different conversations. If you have a kid that is 4 or 5 years already in, his skill set's going to be a lot different. You're just going to have to basically integrate him into your system.
Right.
If you have a kid that's brand new to football, you're going to have to make it quite simple for him. You'll take it down to just maybe one position. You're going to teach him how to do one thing, because he's going to have to learn that one, where right now my focus is to have all of my kids learn 3 positions. So I want them to have an offensive position, a defensive position, and a special teams position.
Right.
But with the kids that aren't able to attend much through the summer, we'll probably just focus them into one position, so they have less of a learning curve and can really kind of focus and succeed.
It's a complicated game. There's a lot going on there.
It's a very complicated game, yeah.
Well, that's good. Okay, so, I mean, in terms of your O-line, your D-line, all that sort of thing, how are things shaping up?
We're looking really good. The offensive line is coming together well. Like I said, I've coached 25 of my 35 before at JB, so it actually makes life quite simple. We know each other. They kind of know most of my coaching staff, and we're working towards a system that we've been trying to put in place and elevate every year for quite a while now. So for the kids that are returning, they just kind of roll into it, and we get to keep going. The new kids, the kids that we have are just amazing. They're integrating them into the system. They're helping coach them. They're keeping them, teaching them the stuff that we can't be there. On a team as large as 35, it gets pretty tricky to be there for all the kids. So some of our second-year kids and our really experienced first-year kids are being amazing with the new kids.
Nice.
So, all in all, the offensive line is looking strong. Our defensive line is also getting strong and fast. The running backs are going to be quick and agile. We've got quarterbacks that can throw the ball a mile, receivers that can go get it, which is awesome. And defensively, our linebackers are hitting like it's already. We had a first sort of heavy hitting practice last night, and it started sounding like football. It was there.
Nice.
There's some crunching going on out there.
That's a good sound.
It does. It sounds really good. So it's exciting time of year.
Okay, let's go over to your Adam team. Adam Blue, your offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Younger set. In terms of first year, second years, how's the balance looking? Is it split down the middle, or?
We're split down the middle on that team. Yeah,
that's nice.
We have 19 on that team. We have 10 first year and 9 second year.
Nice. Okay. And how are things coming together? You're OC.
I'm OC of Adam Blue. Yeah.
So how's it coming together with the offense?
So far, it's looking really good. A really good group of kids. A bunch of kids that are new to football, but are super energetic and super positive. Joel Ketty's our head coach. Jared Deeds is our defensive coordinator, and they're doing a great job. The kids are excited. They've got gear yet, but they haven't had to practice in gear yet, so that's always fun. We'll be doing that next week. We'll get our first practice in gear, because we always go at least 4 practices without gear while we teach safe contact. We want to make sure that the kids are taking care of each other. We haven't had a chance to get the Adams through yet to that level. But it's fun with the Adams. It's a different set of challenges dealing with 8 and 9-year-olds, but it's a lot of fun. The kids are so energetic and they want to learn so much.
And
so,
all the video games, they're so ADHD. They don't listen. That's the hardest thing. It's like herding cats, right?
Yeah, listening it gets harder. So, like I said, I'm lucky enough that the 25 kids that I was talking about at the JV level that I've coached before, we started as Adams as well.
Right.
So, you got to start somewhere, and it starts when you have consistency and you have, if everyone understands where we're trying to get to, it makes life really simple. But the first little while won't be simple, but it's all good. The kids are having a good time, and like I say, it's a great group of kids, great group of parents. So it's gonna be an easy time of it. You can tell they'll start to figure it out soon enough. And for some of these kids, they don't even know, they don't understand the difference between offense and defense yet. So it's a different level of learning. It's a totally different type of coaching, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy both levels.
Now, Adam is notorious for running three very similar plays on running plays. There's not a lot of passing. Are you guys going to be able to get the ball in the air at all, or what?
I hope so. We've got a quarterback. One of the huge benefits that we have as the Giants is the flag program.
Right.
These kids are playing flag now. We're having such a good, successful flag season that I'm watching these kids in Adam, and we passed a ton on my Adam team this year.
Nice.
And lots of the other Adam coaches were throwing a ton, so it's great. Kids are learning to catch. Kids are learning to run patterns. That said,
It's Adam.
It's Adam. It's tricky. The ball gets wet in the fall.
Yeah.
Their hands are small. But we will definitely throw the ball. Like that's mine. I always try to throw at least 5 to 10 passes a game. So
Really? 5 to 10?
That's my goal in Adam every year.
I went to a final board meeting once, about 2 years ago, and I proposed that we force 3 passes a game
Yep.
into our curriculum. And I was pretty much shouted out of the room for daring to suggest such a thing. So when I hear 5 to 10 passes a game, it fills my heart with joy and pride.
Well, like I said, that's the game plan. But game plans are usually torn up after the when you show up and it's raining so hard you can't see across the field.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing. It
the
starts
game
pouring
plan's like,
rain,
okay,
right?
it looks like we better plan on keeping it close to the middle of the field right now because it's tricky out there. But the intent is to continue the passing game, and I think we've got the players to do that.
Nice.
So I am excited for that.
I mean, it's a risk with passing at that age because you can throw so many interceptions.
Yeah.
But it's a risk worth taking because if you don't take the risk, they're never going to develop a passing game, and it'll never get developed.
Well, I wouldn't say never. I mean, the Adam ages, you're just kind of learning the game.
Right.
So you're learning how to play football. You're learning the rules. You're learning, you're learning which way to go. Are you going left? Are you going right? And it's funny that is actually a concern at Adam as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You sometimes you need to actually talk about.
Either way.
Yeah. Sometimes I say, okay, guys, we're going to run a sweep to the right. And which way is the right? It's towards your parents in the grandstands over there. And they look at you, and they all nod their heads. And the next thing you know, they're coming towards the bench on a left sweep. And there's no blocking up front. And you just, all you can do is shake your head and laugh because, the kids are having a good time. And that's what really matters at this age. So, like I say, it's great to have a passing plan in the game plan. But sometimes you have to work with what you have.
Now, you have a pretty solid record in terms of wins. And how many consecutive years have you made the playoffs as a coach?
I don't want to jinx myself. I have not missed the playoffs as a coach yet.
7 years. 6 years because this is your 7th year.
Flag early on, but yeah, as far as Adam and Pee Wee and
Okay.
JB, it was my first year in JB, but
Yeah.
I've been successful enough to have not missed playoffs. But it's not all about wins and losses.
It's not, but making the playoffs, it's kind of a proud moment.
Winning is fun.
Winning is fun. Winning is fun. So this season, we had a junior bantam team last season, with junior bantam to go to provincial championship. So
Yep. Well, that's
how we looking? How we looking?
That's the
this year?
great thing about the middle of July, right? We haven't lost a game yet.
Everybody's
And,
a champion.
Yeah, it's it all looks good on paper. Like I say, I am very, very excited for how good both Giants teams look this year.
Yeah.
I think we are going to be meeting each other in the playoffs, and all bets are going to be off at that point because it's they have a great team, we have a great team, and I'd like to say I feel sorry for Abbotsford and Meadow Ridge and Mission, but I don't.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to come to Chilliwack and face the Giants, and that's gonna be a tough time for them.
So Scott Wilkes took his team, junior bantam team, to provincials last year. Did you get a chance to watch any of those games?
Yep,
And
I
pick
watched almost all of those games last year.
And what did you pick up from what he was doing? I mean, he had a killer team. But
He was strong across the board. Lots of stuff that he's doing we will also be incorporating. You saw he did pass a fair amount. We will be passing a fair amount at junior bantam. Like I said, it's the flag program. I can't stress enough what a success that is for the Giants program. Our kids, it's amazing how well they catch now and what good route runners they are, and how well our quarterbacks are throwing the ball. So it's different when you put shoulder pads and helmets on, but the basics are there, and just gives us that many more times through the year that they're catching balls and playing football. So it gives us a huge chance to change the way we play offense by playing flag football. So doing that, and then defensively, we try to run a very complicated defense in the sense that there's always people coming from different parts of the field. So we try not to be easy to read. Everything you want to look the same all the time, but we're blitzing every play. There's people coming. just where are they coming from? And that's a very similar defense to what Coach Wilkins ran last year. And it will be very successful, I think, with the players that we have. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these kids can do.
Okay. Heard it here first, folks. Heard it here first. So, a little wrap-a-dap, you think? Sure, wrap it up. Anything you else want to talk about here on Blitz?
No, thanks a lot for having me. Appreciate the invite.
And Friday Night Lights will be going live from the field. Don't forget our raffle. We have a new online raffle and the Cume 50/50. So, of course, you should have your emails from Daryl. What's the company, right? Daryl. There was a comedy bit years ago. Never mind. Anyway, thank you very much for getting blitzed this Friday afternoon. I'd like to thank our executive producer, Mr. Wayne Bjorgi, and Tom Caverly are both executive producers, pardon me. Technical producer, Mr. Tim Maston, and, of course, our social media empress extraordinaire, Miss Jillian Fraser. And coming up next week, we have a celebrity in our midst. Chilliwack Mayor, her worship, Miss Sharon Gates, will be here joining us, talking about what Chilliwack Giants mean to the community of Chilliwack, about facilities, what the city can do, how we coordinate, how great it is that we are as an organization, just make everything better because we're the Giants, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a great show. Thank you very much.
That's exciting.
It is. I know I was in news for 3.5 years in this town, so I got to know her worship quite well.
Nice.
And we get along great, so it's going to be a fun show. It's good. We get along great. She loves me. I love her. Well, I don't. We love each other. It's good. Big loving. Okay. Thank you for getting blitzed. I'm your host, Mr. Tim Amy. Thanks for tuning in right here at ChilliwackGiants.com.